That's no moon.
Clear Bay 327. We are opening the magnetic field.
Hello there, and welcome to Docking Bay 327. I'm Tony, and today we're going to be looking at how I built an artificial stone wall with a control panel built in that can actually run my smoke machine in the flooring grates. Now, before we get to that, if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and the bell so that you'll be alerted as I push out new content. It really does help me build the channel and reach even more Star Wars geeks. For all of you who have already subscribed, thank you so much. It really does mean a lot to me. So, let's get into it. If you watched my floor lighting episode, you already know about my floor grates and fog machine. Now, I liked the panel and the poster on that north wall, but they were always just temporary until I came up with a more complete design. I decided to build an artificial stone/stucco wall with a control panel that I could actually use to control my fog machine as well. It has this control pad that's connected by this 8-foot XLR cable, so I needed to find a way to integrate that into the design too. So here's what I came up with in Illustrator. Next was deciding what material I would use to build it. I've had quite a bit of success with the 2-inch insulation foam board, so that's what I went with. I cut the board into pieces that matched the dimensions of the wall and laid them out. I then began using my Dremel tool to create gouges like you would see in an old stone wall. I then used Mod Podge to seal the gouges so the paint wouldn't chew through those spots. Then I began covering the entire surface with dry deck spackle to give it that stucco look. Once that had completely cured, I sprayed it with this textured raw clay Krylon spray paint. And here's how it turned out. Looks like a stucco stone wall to me. Now I began building the control panel. I needed it to be pretty lightweight so it would attach to the foam board securely. So I used some scrap pieces of that same foam for the frame. I used a piece of the chalkboard MDF for some stability since I would be using it regularly, and you can see the holes all cut out and ready for the buttons and smoke machine control pad. I painted the panel and all the piping a bronze color so it would blend in well with the wall. One of the other things I needed to incorporate into the panel was a way to turn the smoke machine on and off. You see, I can't leave it on all the time because it gets pretty hot. I don't want to melt my floor grates, but I also don't want to have to uncover the smoke machine every single time I want to use it just to turn it on. So I found this extension cord at Lowe's. It has a button on one end and a double-sided plug on the other. One female side to plug in the machine and the other goes into the wall socket. I took the button apart so I could attach it to the panel and of course painted it to fit in with the prop. I also added some arcade buttons I found on Amazon just for effect, and then soldered all the connections together. I added heat shrink to protect the connections from coming apart. Then I connected everything to a power source to make sure it all worked as expected. Now it was time to install it and put it all together in the room. First, I attached a couple panels for the foam board to adhere to. Next, I applied contact cement to both the mounting panels and the back of the foam and then installed the stone wall. Because I had to build it in 2 pieces, I used more of the dry deck spackle to fill in the gap. Next, I dirted it up with a black wash and made sure to let it drip and run down the wall for that used, worn look. I attached the control panel with hot glue and painstakingly ran all the wiring and power cables through the tubing and then connected it all together. And here's the end result. So there you go. A artificial stone wall with a control panel that actually controls my smoke machine. If you liked the video, give me a thumbs up. If you're wondering where this inspiration came from for this design and overall look, all I can say is stay tuned, because there's a build coming of epic proportions that you do not want to miss. So until next time, build with what you know and figure out the rest.